W in the house. Hey, Ryan.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Those who are watching, good evening, everybody. You are on a friendly live stream of DNForum on various platforms of DNForum, and for the first time also on Twitch. And we are still waiting for Jeff to connect. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten that we are reviewing. Ryan is reviewing his domain portfolio. If he joins, he joins. If he doesn't join, we will still review his portfolio. So, Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, doing okay. I think today I've had like 8 meetings or something. It's been crazy.
8 meetings. How many of them about domain manage? What was that last week? So I was just chilling. I don't know where was it, at Aiken Domains or somewhere, and Ryan posts domain manages for sale. Like,
it's quite funny because Helmuts phoned me. Helmuts, it was Saturday night.
Wolves.
And then Helmuts phoned me up and said, "Ryan, what's going on?" And I said, "Well,
yes, relax. Yes,
I've been offered a job." And he said, "What do you mean you've been offered a job? You do domains?" And I was like, "No, it's my dream job. It's my dream job." And he's like, "What do you mean a dream job? What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh, I've been offered a job in the zoo." And he's like, "Ryan, what the hell?"
Oh, that was only in the next day.
And the next day,
you totally sold me the thing about the job.
Yeah, it's good.
And I was actually worried about you. I was really worried about you. So I tried calling you many times.
I think, well, the thing is that we need to re-platform domain manage. So
yes,
we can either close it down or we can sell it. So it depends. There's a shortage of platforms. So it's quite a good, if you've got a large portfolio or you want to build on it, it's a good starting point. It does well for us. Just that we need to re-platform, and therefore we'll probably get a better domain, something that we can, advertise with and all that stuff.
So a quick wrap up. You are staying in the industry. Nothing is changing. Everything is good.
Everything's good. Yeah. Just a change of domain name at some point.
Okay.
At some point, we're going to change domain. We're just finalizing things now, and then it'll be re-platformed. So like with Brandable.
Yes.
Brandable's like, it's just a totally different product to domain manage in terms of all the features and everything that are there. So that's fully built. We're finalizing the last little bits and stuff, but that's
okay. We are talking about brandable.uk.
Yeah, so brandable.uk, that's capable of doing, it's pretty much semi-automated in terms of up to the point of transfer of domain. And the last part is the EPP system to auto transfer, and then also the accountancy side. So every transaction gets logged, and then we can auto dispense funds and stuff. So in the next 3 months, Brandable is going to be pretty much autonomous, which is what we want for domain manage.
Very nice. Yes.
So remember, it's marketing as well. I was obviously tongue in cheek about selling the domains, and then obviously I followed up with a LinkedIn post. But I like to keep you on your toes, so it was quite funny.
God, sometimes your social posts are. You can create that story, so quickly, and people are like, Ryan.
Remember, in the past, I've had maybe 100,000, 200,000 followers on Twitter. I've had maybe 10 or 20,000 on LinkedIn. I've had Facebook, maybe 100,000. For the different businesses I've run, I've grown really large social followings, and then I just close them down when I left finance. I just closed down my accounts.
Wow.
And so I've grown really big user bases, so I kind of know how to engage, how to get engagement, when to be a bit controversial, when not to be controversial. And also it's just marketing, basically.
As they say, creating a buzz.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to create.
Absolutely. So how's life? How are the things with the DNW? Is everything complete?
Yeah. So yesterday I was in London for the Salesforce World Tour.
Yes.
So that was really good. Really good. DNWE, everything's been transferred. We created a survey for members to basically vote on different features.
Okay.
So that closed around 4 o'clock. So I'll produce the report. So it goes into they had to choose a logo. What features do you want on the platform? What are you willing to pay? There were some interesting kind of things that came out of it in terms of curation of domains was one of the main things.
Yes.
We wanted more domains on platform. People weren't concerned about having an app, which I was a bit surprised by. Overwhelmingly not interested in an app.
Okay.
And then we're going to list portfolios for sale. That went out on Twitter as a vote. So yeah, we'll compile the report. We'll release it next week, early next week, showing what people.
How did you gather the opinions? I'm really curious.
So
it seems we've been working on the same thing, exactly the same thing, but two different approaches.
Yeah. So so in another lifetime, I did some voluntary work. So for the NHS in the UK, I was creating surveys for doctors' practices to give feedback.
Yes.
In terms of creating a survey, I've done it a million times, so to speak, many years ago. So what I did was I created a closed survey, and you had to be a member. So we exported the user base of 3,500 users from the NWE.
Okay. Yes.
Created the survey, and it was a closed survey, so you needed an access code, and then literally just ping that an email saying, "Hey, look, if you want to have your say about the NWE and what you want to see, here's your access code. Go and fill in the survey."
Okay. I have just received a message from Jeff that Jeff, you can, if you are watching it on the YouTube, then please leave inernetster. He's saying he's using YouTube, so probably he's not going to connect to the stream. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Jeff, just leave a comment. We'll put it up. Say, hey, that's me, and we'll get you. So sorry, once again. So you created a closed survey.
Yeah, closed survey. So you needed an access token to participate.
Okay.
And then there was a series of questions, maybe 12 questions about what's important to you, priorities. Yes. So whether it's curation of domains or fees or the checkout process, yes, or whatever it might be. So people get to vote. We'll compile those votes and we'll run with whatever it is. So if people want, I think one of the things is people wanted PayPal. So we'll switch out from Dan.com to PayPal. So all the votes are done, and we'll publish that with the decision that's been made.
Can you actually show us something? Do you have like wrap up of? Is there anything that you can show us the results of? Submitted.
It's in raw data, so I need to just whack it through into a booklet.
So, but basically, there is nothing that we could show
today.
To the public. Yes.
No.
So, Ryan, we've been working exactly on the same thing. Apart from me going crazy on creating social groups.
You've certainly been busy on the old social media, haven't you? WhatsApp.
Extending. Not only WhatsApp, but those who are watching, please go to the DNForum's announcements, and you will see that we have now nine social media groups. Yes. Oh, Ryan is smiling. Ryan wrote to me, Helmut, I can't take it anymore. Phone is buzzing. Sorry, I'm leaving WhatsApp or something. I said, yeah, of course. So we have 2 Telegram groups. Originally we had 1 Telegram group, but then conversations started mixing up with people listing domain names. So there was a suggestion made either at WhatsApp or Telegram. So now we have 2 WhatsApp groups, 2 Telegram groups, and one is for talking only. Another one is for sales, for selling, for buying and selling domain names for wholesale prices only. As people need to understand that in domainer groups, they're not going to be end user prices. Yes, Ryan, either liquidation or wholesale prices. And there are people who have this businessmen who have definitely cracked this code, how to operate a business on buying domains, drop domains, and selling them at wholesale markets. So it is a business of its own. Yes, Ryan.
It's huge. There's obviously people that specialize in the high end domains.
Yeah.
But there's people who are catching on the drop and selling domains for $50, for example, and doing real volume. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Oh, sorry. God. So then then the latest one was I created just before the stream. We have now 2 Facebook groups as well. One is for trade, one is for socials. So that's already 2. That's 6. Then we have LinkedIn group. LinkedIn group, I think, is the oldest LinkedIn group in the industry. Those who know, I took over the largest domainer LinkedIn group, the domainer network, but that's a different thing. And then we have Reddit and Discord. All those things are done and created for you guys. But there is another thing. Ryan, can I show you the screen?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, or shall I drop you a? So what happens if you put it feedback.dnforum.com?
Oh, very cool. A roadmap.
So we've been working exactly on the same. So once you go there, once you go to DNForum, here on the bottom, there is also a link, feedback, bang. And there is a feedback, and
that's really good.
So there is a roadmap, what we are working on, what we have completed, what is in the discussion up next. So what we are working on now. Today, me and Prashana, we finished quite a lot of things, and then what is next? So we'll be doing that. Then everybody can go to the wish list. You can go to wish list and you can submit. You can submit your proposal, and people can discuss it actually. And then there are updates once we will be publishing something. And it is the same for DNForum and Econ domains. It is feedback.dnforum.com or feedback.acondomains.co.uk. I've been having a problem. People have started writing me, and especially as the traffic comes back at DNForum, there are few who are writing at Econ domains, but at DNForum, people are writing, and personal messages. And I'm not the admin. I'm the owner.
Yeah, I'm just about to do the roadmap for DNWE. It's quite a good way of just clearly laying out timelines of what's going to happen when it's going to happen.
This is a very good approach, yes?
Yeah, really good. I really like the way. Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
People can engage in it. So I was just going to do, a static roadmap. But it's quite good if people can comment about suggestions and stuff. Like one of the biggest things that happened from the DNWE survey was the amount of comments and feedback was really, really valuable. Some amazing ideas that we'll go on to implement. Really good. And that will be published as well. That's invaluable. So yeah, if you can allow people to comment on DNForum and what's happening, that's amazing.
Yes. We have a category. We have a category like suggestions or something, but why not to create dedicated subdomain where people actually can chat about it?
Yeah, that's really good.
So Amit Gupta is saying next time, please consider scheduling the program a bit later. And thank you, Amit, for joining in. It is in the UK. It is 7 p.m. on Friday evening. Yeah, usually all the offices are closed in the UK after 3-4 o'clock, and this is a bit. This is a time of domain drops. So as this is the time of domain drops, and most people who find these videos interesting are busy collecting drop domains. This actually makes sense.
Yeah, that's good feedback. Again, all of this is really good when people give you information. Yeah, it's really good.
So what would be the perfect time, please? Would it be 1 hour before or 1 hour later? Please let us know. I'm not into the game of catching the main names. So this is really good feedback. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, really important. That's the key thing here. Is someone Raymond from TLD Investors reached out to me and said, "Look, Ryan, would like to publish some information about what's happening with DNWE."
Okay, thank you. Yes.
And he was saying, it's good when people when you get feedback that it gets action. We have a vote, and this is what we're going to do. I think it's really important. So yeah, amazing feedback, and yeah, maybe we'll avoid the 7 o'clock time, maybe 8 or 9.
It's better. 8 or 9, 8:30.
Yeah,
kind of. 9 o'clock is better. Round times are better. So probably 9 p.m. That's interesting. But people who are into drops, they can open the stream and watch the drops from the other side.
Yeah, or listen to it. Yeah, I guess they're trying to concentrate on.
Yeah. It makes sense. Amit, thank you. Super valuable, really. So, Ryan, shall we jump into Jeff's portfolio?
Yeah, let's do it.
Bang. Okay. So let me share then probably the.
It would have been interesting to hear Jeff's like how he got into domains. Has he sold any domains? Why he got these? Are they hand registered? Did he pay for them? Because some of them he's had a fair bit of time.
Yes. I have to say that Jeff did tell me a bit more about himself.
Okay.
But if he's not here, then can I really share it? I'm not sure. So personal messages or personal messages. Okay. So bang, like this, and we can do it like this. Okay.
Okay.
So there are the main names. Okay. So what is your first? What was your first thought when you saw the list?
I see a lot of these lists of domains whereby I'm like, oh, do you know, I'm not sure. On the face of it, certain ones like maybe the top one, Abeccs, maybe is okay. Carbon is not a bad word in a domain name. Carbonwage, Carbontarif, Carbonsink.
Okay.
It's not too bad. At the bottom there, that Thrivium, I thought might be okay, just gut feeling.
Okay.
The most important thing here is that on the face of it, it's really hard to tell. Right, every decision you make so there's a difference here between randomly buying domain names,
yes,
and having the data, which we can go into a minute. Once you've got the data, then it becomes really clear. And there's actually surprisingly 2 or 3 domains within the portfolio that might have some value to them. And I think the biggest thing here is gather the data before you buy the domains. That's one of the key things, because these are on the face of it, these are super hard. I would say they're super hard to outbound. They're super hard to sell. You're just going to kind of wait for a buyer to come along. If you get the data, then it becomes a bit clearer. So I can share my screen if you want. What I've done.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So what I've done is this is a basic version of the spreadsheet that I use. So whenever I get domains, I'll run all the analysis, put all the data into one place, and then I'll work from there. So
yes.
I'll share my screen.
Yes. Before we go, half an hour. It is not like 1 hour and a half. So half an hour. So that's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock our time, not 7 o'clock. So it's perfect.
Okay. So I'll zoom in as we go.
Thank you, Ryan, for preparing as well.
That's okay. Right. Okay. So
okay. Can you make it larger, please?
Yeah. I'm just going in. Okay.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yeah, it should be fine. Yes.
Okay, so the basic spreadsheet that you should have in place and contain these bits of data. So first of all, the first thing I always gather is the date of birth. So this was the first registration of the domain.
Okay.
Once the domain's dropped, that date of birth goes back to whatever the current date is. So for me, if you're going to sell a domain, saying it's 6 years old is a positive thing to say. So that's quite important. The second thing I'll do is I'll gather the expiry date, so I know how long is left until I have to pay for renewal if I acquire the domain. So as part of the GoDaddy Domain Academy, you can search for domains and you will find out a couple of really interesting figures from GoDaddy. So the first one is the GoDaddy valuation. That's, you can go online and I think you get 2 searches a day.
Yes.
As part of Domain Academy Club, you can do 150 searches a day. So that's based on a lot of metrics that they gather. Previous sales, comparable sales, several different factors they kind of gather all together. People get a bit shirty about GoDaddy. They're like, well, I don't believe that domain is worth 1,493. But the important thing here is it's not about it being worth 1,493. It's about the ratio of that domain compared to another domain. So if a domain's got a value of, say, between one and GoDaddy valuation between £1,000 and £2,000, it's $1,000. It's probably towards the lower end of the market.
And that's yes. And can I also add that those who do not know, the previous CEO of GoDaddy, Paul Nix, he was a systems administrator, and he has like I think 2 or 3 patents in the regards of domain name valuation. He personally has it, or joined with somebody else. So GoDaddy definitely know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Apart from being the largest one.
Yeah. So they've got is incredible. It's put the value to one side because it's relatively. The key thing here is if it's $1,500 on a valuation, that's a different type of domain to something that's got a $10,000 valuation. Doesn't matter what the number is, just one is substantially more desirable than the other. The other thing I get, which I use, is so this GDV percentage is the probability of the domain selling in the next year for a price between GoDaddy valuation and GoDaddy suggested price. So there's a 3% chance that this domain will sell in the next year for between 1,493 and 3,414, which is a super cool statistic.
Oh, very nice approach.
So, and then the GD suggested price, that's where they use other data points to think out. So it might be something that's trending at the moment. And this is potentially, so when I sell a domain, rule of thumb would be what the GD suggested price for most things. As we go on a bit later, you'll see there's some really interesting things that come out of it. The other thing we do is gather .db stats.
Okay.
So that's the number of registered extensions for any given domain name. And it's a good indicator because if there's 3 registered domain names, it means there's 2 other people that have a lesser extension than, say, the .com. They might have .io or .co or a ccTLD. So it's quite a good indicator. And
yes.
If below 5, generally I wouldn't buy it. So anything below 5, so down here where there's 1, very difficult to sell. Basically, these ones here are super difficult to sell.
Okay.
One. It's worth keeping an eye on stuff like here where you've got a 15. You think, wow, that's an amazing domain, but it's a .org. So
.org, yes.
Ideally, if you want to buy .org, it should be 50 plus or something, because you've got to be able to sell it. I also log the length just so it's easy for sorting. What you'll notice as well is up here is a lot of mine is formula driven, so I don't have to. I pop the domain in, it works it all out, and then the TLD, so .com, .org, whatever it might be.
Very nice.
So as a rule of thumb, they're the data points I gather. So for those that aren't familiar, say with .db, so it's .db.com. You type in the domain name, and it shows you down here the count of exact matches. So there's 1 domain there. There's not even the 2 word on a different extension. So it's very, very difficult. It can be very difficult to sell that domain. You get 10 free searches a day. So .db is a really good thing to use. For finding out expiry dates and date of birth, bulk.seotools.com, bulk domain check age. So literally you can dump in 500 domains here, and it goes through, it tells you where it's registered, so GoDaddy or Namesheet, wherever it might be, the date of birth and the expiry date. So super interesting. It's really useful, and it's free to find out your date of birth and domain metrics as part of the GoDaddy Domain Academy. So one of the things when people come to me, what's the biggest tip on if I want to get better at domain names, do the Domain Academy course. It teaches you all the basics, and it's something that for £150 or $200, whatever it might be, is really invaluable. Have you done the Domain Academy course, Helmuts?
No, I haven't. I wanted to buy it for my daughter.
Okay.
And yes.
Yeah. It's worthwhile doing, and there's loads of tools in there. It just explains the different data points that you should be looking at for a domain name. So definitely worth checking that out. The other thing I do is go to Name Bio.
Okay.
So Name Bio is a database of previous sales, history of domain names. So when I'm looking for any given domain, I want to find comparables, because it's a good idea. It's a good indication of what the domain's worth. So I use those 4 sources for gathering the data in the spreadsheet. Once I've gathered the data, so the other thing is that obviously Jeff's portfolio, he's got a domain in his portfolio that's available for registration, so he doesn't even own it. So that's a good indication that he's not managing the portfolio that well.
Wow, he actually gave us a domain name that is not registered.
Yeah, so if you go to Greenindexes, you can go and pick it up for how much.
Jeff, things happen. Yes.
And so then what I do is, and this is the most important part of what I do, is I add up the value. So if I'm buying a portfolio, I'll add up the GoDaddy valuation, which here is 24,195. Okay, I then average out the chance of it selling in the next 12 months. So this is an average of all of the different numbers up here.
Yes.
And then I also do the sum of the GoDaddy suggested value. So this portfolio, what I do is take the GoDaddy valuation number, and down here, this is basically the sum of the value of the GoDaddy valuation times by the percentage chance of it selling. So this portfolio is going to make between $400 and $1,800 in the next 12 months. That's a fairly safe, it's a fairly safe prediction. So there's 24 domains in the portfolio, 23 domains in the portfolio. It's $10 a year. So it's going to cost $2,300 to run the portfolio. And the maximum opportunity here is about $1,800. So
and judging from this portfolio should make $416. It means if none of the suggested prices are that low, then it will take like 8 years something.
Yeah. So
8 years to sell one domain name, and
Yeah. So people often ask, how do you know when to drop a domain name?
Yes.
Now, these two figures here make it super simple, because what you're looking at is these figures here at the bottom here. So if you were to drop some domains, let's say we drop that green indices, okay, the percentage has gone down to 1.71.
Yes.
If you look up here, it's 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1.
Okay.
These are probably not worth keeping on to.
Bang.
I'm just going through here just to work out so the key thing here is to sanitize. It's just cleaning up the portfolio, and you'll see the numbers change, and there you know which ones you should drop or not drop by the percentage. That's quite an important thing to do, and that's how I know when to drop a domain.
I like your approach. Very nice.
Yeah. And then we're looking for anomalies in the portfolio. So generally, to find out if there's any end users for a domain after I've gathered this data, is I'll go to Google, say with Abeccs, I'll type it into Google. Here we go here. So I'll type the domain straight into Google. We can see that Squad Help's the number one. But what we notice here is there's actually a reasonably sized company here running off of Beccs.in. So they're a perfect person to buy this domain. So go to the website. So generally, I'll take a look at the website, how to get a gauge of the company that's there. So they've got a website, looks okay.
Yes, they've done some books, education. Yeah.
So it's a reasonable. They're semi together with their stuff. On here, you've got the email address. So I'd be emailing that person saying, "Hey, just to let you know, I've got the .com. If you're interested in buying it, let me know."
Yes.
Fill in the web form. The other thing I'll do is I'll check social media to see whether these are any good. So on Facebook, for example, if we go across to Facebook, they've got 1,000 followers.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That's quite a good indicator. Bad indicator, Twitter's not got an account. They're linking to their account. And then on Instagram, they've got 5 followers and 17 posts. So there's a slight chance that you might be able to sell that domain to them.
And plus decent posts. There are photos, not just graphics,
Yeah. If you were to pick that domain up on the drop or expired or something, or in a forum for $50, it's not a bad way of doing it. Obviously, there's only one opportunity for this domain, so it's.
And if we go back, what was the next one? So first one was Squad Help, then it was IN, and then it was App. What's the third one? App. No, Abeccs. Apps on Google Play.
Yeah. Oh, let's have a look.
Okay. So they have an app as well. Okay, even better.
Yeah.
So they have invested into an app.
100 downloads. So they're natural. They're probably.
They are starting up. They are trying to get there.
Well, I mean, remember that to be number 2 in Google, they must be fairly established. They must have a reasonable website. And so they'll understand the value of how much it costs for content or putting a website together. So potentially a reasonable end user. So you would go through all of those. I would generally, this is where it becomes time consuming. I'd do go through each name and find any potential people who might want to buy it. So that's one way. That's one way of kind of deep diving into it. The other way, which is also really interesting, is using some kind of. So I use Google Ads, but you can use Esterbot and you can use I think Moz or one of the SEO providers give you traffic data.
Yeah.
So what I do, there you can see. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, zoom out a bit. Okay, so what I do is to have Google Ads, I've got a paid account, so I use Google Ads, but there are other providers. But the key thing here is what I'll do is I'll search for the keywords of domains. So we looked at Abeccs, I looked at Thrivium, which was at the bottom, and then I looked at Greenindexes, which was the one that you can register, hand register. What's super interesting when you put it through is you get an idea of the search volume.
Yes.
On the top 2 names, 10 to 100 isn't that meaningful, but on the bottom one where it's 1,000 to 10,000 searches a month for the key phrase Greenindexes, we're getting into kind of quite nice territory there.
Okay.
So there's good search volume for it. That's a valuable domain for someone who's going to advertise. And then the other thing is to keep an eye on is how much are advertisers willing to pay to be number 1 in Google on an advert. So this domain is potentially quite valuable because of the search intent behind it. And so one of the things I do is work out the traffic numbers. So what I would do when I'm pitching this or trying to sell it to someone, I'd say, okay, look, every month on average, add them up, divide by 2, on average, 5,500 people type the phrase green indexes into Google.
Yes.
Okay. And advertisers are paying between 40p and £2.60. So on average, £1.50.
Yes.
So 5,500 people are paying £1.50 for a click on Google.
Okay.
So if you work that out
8,
over 3 years, so it's
around 8,000. Yes.
Per month.
Yes.
So that's 100,000 a year, and then over 3 years.
That's in all regions. Yes. That is not related to UK or to states.
No, no, it's global search terms.
Okay.
So advertisers paying £8,000 in this case per month for advertising. So that's 100,000 a year or £300,000 over 3 years. So the value of that domain, if you were going to say, look, 2.5% of the traffic. So in terms of what, if I was to offer it to someone and say, look, it's going to cost you £300,000 in advertising for that phrase, but if you get to number 1 in Google, we're going to massively reduce your advertising spend. Then that domain has a huge value to them. You know, probably, well, when I say huge, probably 300,000. I would say probably about $7,500 to $17,500. I would say that domain, if you got the right person to sell it to. And yeah, so the key thing is the analysis, data driven rather than just randomly picking a name.
Was that the most valuable domain name?
Yeah, that was, well, so for me, Greenindexes was valuable, and also Abeccs.com, because there's a potential end user who's established. So I haven't gone through each and every domain in that kind of level of detail, but they were 2 that stood out for me, and also Thrivium. I think Thrivium's a good domain.
Okay.
It's got kind of a sciencey feel to it. So yeah, they were the 3 that stood out to me.
And you would list them according to the GoDaddy suggested price, yes?
So as a very quick snapshot, I would go, okay, GoDaddy valuation. But when you, for example, with Abeccs, that 3,400 probably would be $5,000, $7,500, because you know there's a potential buyer there where they would get great value from it. Switching from a .in to a .com is huge.
Absolutely. For them, absolutely, yes. And everybody wants to go global. Yes.
Exactly. So that would affect that value. For me, Thrivium, I'd probably be around about the GoDaddy valuation. That green indexes, I would value it. So GoDaddy got it at 4,696. I'd be around about 12,500 based on the traffic.
Okay.
So certain ones stand out when you have all the data. So it would vary depending on, but certainly I wouldn't list any of them. I would probably list them, some of the lower end ones, maybe for 3 or 4 of them where the sales percentage chance is very low. I'd probably be at 2,499. For the majority of them, I'd be at 4,499. And then the 2 or 3 exceptions, I'd be higher.
Ryan, can I show you something else? No. I just checked up. So you can stay there with your screen.
So
there is another thing, and bang. No, you can stay there. I'll put it back.
Okay.
So Open Corporates, fabulous website to find companies, and Abeccs Inc. did exist, but it is inactive.
Okay. Which is probably the app that we saw.
Yes. So sometimes it is so easy to go in and put in the company name in Open Corporates.
Yeah, I mean, I also use Crunchbase.
Yes.
So I would generally hit up Crunchbase. I'm just seeing what the SEO stats are on there. That's true. Nothing. Okay. So generally, I would check the SEO stats as well.
And then we could also check Abeccs.in to see the backlinks and then to understand more.
I'm not
Zero.
sure it's working. It's unusual for it to be 0.
That's strange. Usually they have all the backlinks.
We must have some backlinks. Again, the more time you spend, because I would look at, is it built in WordPress, or is it in Wix or Shopify or Squarespace?
Okay. Wow, really nice approach. Anything else for the portfolio? So your verdict.
I would look to remove 5 or 6 of them where the percentages are really low. The chance of selling is super low. One of the things that GoDaddy give you, which I'll switch across to here.
Yes.
So this is the full data set from GoDaddy. So GoDaddy valuation, we've seen, this is basically if it went into auction, how much the domain would sell for. So $2, $3, nothing particularly stands out. Thrivium $7, which is a bit surprising.
Yes.
Then you've got the GoDaddy value list price, which is the suggested value. And then they do the probability for each of the sizes. So the probability of selling the domain for $500 is 6.3%. The probability of selling it for the GoDaddy valuation is 3%. And the probability of selling it for $2, which they class as wholesale, is 12%. So if you stuck it in a GoDaddy auction, I don't know if there's a minimum starting price, but basically that will sell all day long for 2%, for $2. So this data set is really valuable for working out where to pitch them. Because even if you buy a domain for, I don't know, $50, for example, and you know the probability, the chance of it selling in the next year for 500, you're onto a bit of a winner there. Because some of them really stand out, like 6% is a good percentage, and then you just want to get rid of the junk where it's really low. Okay.
So your number would be there, what, 3%, 5%?
No, so me, I would hold above, but certainly anything below 2% gets dropped, and I try and hold a portfolio average above 4% for me. That's what I do in my brain. So anything that's below that threshold, I would just drop. More importantly, I wouldn't buy in the first place.
Very nice, Ryan.
Yeah, so that's a rough thing how I do it. And then, like you say, open corporates, that's a good thing to check. Crunchbase, really good thing to check. LinkedIn, how many employees do they have? And these kind of things are really important. And this is the fundamental basis for our auto outbounding system that we're piloting at the moment. So we're using a system that will go in and check all these details, send the message, and then chase up the emails that we send, and the results are looking very promising.
So that's nice. That's Jeff. There you go. Good or bad, there it is. Ryan says, save the carbon.
Save the carbon, yeah.
Save the world and drop those 6 domains.
Yeah, just tidy up. It's just, I mean, they're all in marketplaces. But yeah, just tidy up, and you become more profitable by not carrying stuff that's never going to sell. It's funny when people talk about hand registering a domain in 2024. There's obviously trends that come along where domains haven't been registered, but for by and large, unless you're a genius or have thought of something that hasn't been created, it's probably not a good idea. And do the Domain Academy course. Before you email me with all your amazing domain names, do the Domain Academy course.
And those who are watching, I'm happy to find reviewers. Mostly it will be Ryan to review your domain portfolio, or maybe we'll have 2 or 3 guests to go and analyze your portfolio. Some more fierce, some less fierce. And so please make sure that your DN profile, DNforum's profile is fine. At least you have a picture, you have like 100 posts. Yes, I had somebody very new who's got just few posts, no avatar, nothing. Sort out your profile and then send me a message. That's the only request, and then we'll review it.
Yeah, definitely. It's worth. It's surprising how many people just buy domains without doing any research whatsoever, and then they complain, "Oh, why isn't it selling?" Or they come to me and say, "Oh, whatever Thrivium. I only want $149,000. You can have it for $149,000. I'm like, oh, do you know? Yeah, I probably could have it for $149,000, but just do your research. It's a really, domains are an amazing thing to be part of. If you just do the studying and learning, you can have an amazing life, and you can be anywhere in the world on your laptop having an amazing life if you just do the work.
Ryan, quick question. Salesforce.
Yeah.
Why and how? Can you share some more details? As I know, I know that Salesforce are super profitable.
Yeah.
I haven't used them. I don't have the need for that. I know that their subscription is very expensive.
Yeah.
For an ordinary person, and for corporates, more than affordable. So what do they really do, and why they are so profitable? Your thoughts.
So we've been running Salesforce for about 5 years on the finance business. Okay, it's really important to get all your data in one place so you can have a view of your clients, a whole view of every interaction you ever had with them. So as a CRM, it's really powerful. It is super expensive for any feature that you want on Salesforce. It is almost cost prohibitive, but you're getting access to the best systems, the best insight. So where Salesforce is at the moment, they've got Copilot integrated, and they've got Einstein, which is AI.
Okay, those who do not know, our Copilot is Microsoft's AI, and we all know that Microsoft is now the main investor into ChatGPT. Although ChatGPT are not sharing all the data with them. Yes, sorry.
So there's generative AI, which would be Einstein in Salesforce. So that's a case of, hey, reply to this email, and it spits it out, and you just press send, and it sends it off.
Yes.
And then they've got Copilot. So Copilot will do, for example, say on the finance business, let's say we're giving advice to someone about a mortgage. You can go in there and you can just say, give me a summary of this client. And it will spit through and it will tell you a very short summary of interaction you've had. So from a tech perspective, it's really good. It's really good at identifying opportunities.
Yes.
Target from a domain perspective, it's really good because we get so many inquiries. We may as well funnel them into a centralized system, put all the data we've spoken about on here, plus loads of other into one place, and then use the marketing capabilities of Salesforce. The main reason we use Salesforce is the marketing capabilities. So I did a post on outbounding on Twitter a while ago, and there was at the time we were trying like snov.io. So when you've contacted someone, you want to have a follow-up email and a series of triggers to go and do it. But Salesforce is just on a whole nother world. It integrates WhatsApp. It's just on another world. It is expensive, no two ways about it. But again, I think for most domainers who are earning 6 figures a year, it'd be a solid investment, a really good investment. And GoDaddy use it on scale.
So sometimes I see an email is being sent by Salesforce. Occasionally I go into original data of email senders, and you can pull in some interesting information. And once you see a properly profitable and respectable web portal, quite often you will see Salesforce there. And at that moment you say, okay, those boys are properly organized.
Yeah. Salesforce is one of those systems. It's similar to like Cloudflare, another one. These enterprise companies, they're very hard to get on board with because the entry point is so expensive. It's not like you can't just go and pay Salesforce £200 a month for a license. You have to pay a partner to set it up for you so you gather the right information, it does the right kind of things. And probably Salesforce developers are probably among the highest. Now AI's around, I don't know, but certainly before AI, Salesforce developers are so in demand, and they command the most money out of any developer. Like Salesforce is top of the tree. Governments use them. Any large corporation needs to use Salesforce. And there's others. If you're just getting started out, there's HubSpot, there's Zoho, there's a load of free tools to get started. And probably one of the things you want to do is nail down your business. What is it by using a HubSpot or something else? At least you understand your business processes, so then it becomes easier to go to Salesforce.
Yes.
You don't want to go there too soon when you don't know your business processes. That's a bad thing.
And of course, we have to mention that HubSpot is working on freemium basis. There are basic free things, features that get the customer in the door, and then they slowly grow them, make a customer larger, and once that customer has an established business, they're not switching over anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you're outbounding, you need some kind of system to track things, because trying to do it by email is very hard to do your chases and everything else. So definitely some sort of system, and then some kind of email marketing system like snov.io, whereby you have an email workflow. So send an email, has it been opened? No. Chase it up.
Yes.
That workflow automation for outbounding is absolutely critical. Otherwise, you're not going to make any headway with it.
Absolutely. And what are you using for tracking emails?
Salesforce.
Salesforce for your domain business.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Not only loans, mortgages.
So that business is
not only
separate.
for financial side, but also that one. Yes.
Yeah. So two separate Salesforce we have for the finance business, and then a totally different Salesforce for domains, custom built. So one of the reasons we're doing it as well is that when you make an offer on a domain, we essentially, Salesforce is the brains behind it's chasing you with your, you haven't, whatever it might be, give us the auth code or do this or do that. Salesforce is the brains behind that communication channel. And the website analytics are insane that we're getting. So for example, when someone goes on, they type the search bar, what did they type? Where did they go? What pages did they view? We get a really overall holistic view of a customer that is really, really important when you come to negotiate on a domain.
Oh, that's very cool. Are you going to integrate it in DNWE?
There wouldn't necessarily be, there would be no need to do it in DNWE, because what will happen with DNWE is you go in, you win the auction, you click the link. At some point in the next couple of months, you'll go across to domain manage, and then we'll pick you up in Salesforce. So you'll go through and complete the checkout process on domain manage. So there's no real need for DNWE per se to have that functionality.
Oh, nice, very nice. Do you use SMTP servers or like third-party SMTP servers, or how do you send out the emails? Do you have Google's G Suite, or what do you have?
We've got a couple of different providers. So for email, Office 365. For SMTP, we use SendGrid.
SendGrid, okay.
And one or two other providers. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, we use a few providers, but now everything's migrating to Salesforce. It'll predominantly be Salesforce because of the analytics and stuff.
That is one of our things. We moved our SMTP servers. So originally I did put them up on 2 VPSs, but funny enough, with all the cores and all the RAMs and clean IPs, IPv4s, there were no IPv6s. God. And that happens when you outsource VPSs. And we couldn't set up reverse DNS as well, and it was creating our SMTP servers occasional difficulties delivering few emails, especially working with Gmail. Some are going through, some didn't. And yes, and we have just moved over to new SMTPs.
We've got a block of 128 or 256 IPs. So every website that we have runs on an independent IP, because for SEO it does make a slight difference. They're super expensive nowadays, though. We thought we'd bought them, but OVH turned around and said, no, now you have to pay a monthly lease. And I can't remember what it is, £3 an IP,
yes,
£2.
You can buy them only if you are a RIPE member.
Yeah. So this is going back 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. We thought we'd bought them. We were led to believe we bought them, but now we rent them.
Yes, with OVH, OVH was the last bastion that were offering free IPs, free IP addresses for dedicated servers, but then they gave it up as well.
Yeah, really important for email. I mean, it's so complicated for mail servers and stuff like that, or SMTP servers, that I just
we have set up Berlin. The DNForum is our postal, and that is done. And for the ACAN, we have Pigeon. .acandomains.co.uk. Pigeon, of course. Mail pigeons. Why not?
Yeah.
Make it funny.
Yeah, that's good. That's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yes. So yeah, the transfer is fully done. I showed you our report. Yes, that the last the last newsletter was sent out through Postmark app. But God, we were on the line.
Yeah.
With 30% bounce rate in the end. It was going like 20 up to 25, then it fell, and in the end it went up to 32% bounce rate, something like that. But the open rates were the same or even 1 or 2% higher.
You know, open rates is one thing that you shouldn't focus on because it's not that accurate. There is a way that you can auto open an email, a bit like if you delete the email or you go into your sent item. If you go into your delete, there's certain ways that the companies use to manipulate that open rate. Apparently, that you need links within an email to get a true reflection of, buttons on an email.
Okay. Yes.
That's apparently one of the really important things to do. But it's good open rate, but it can be manipulated.
By email marketing companies or something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we are not doing any manipulations, then
oh no, for
we
you,
are not lying to ourselves. Yes.
No, not for you. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. That's yes. If you're buying that service, then yes, you need to be very careful. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one. I didn't know that.
But the data is incredible if you can show people the open rate and everything else that goes with it. Really valuable.
Yeah. Now we moved back again away from Postmark app, so we don't have the open data available in full, but we'll be working on it.
Okay.
So the both SMTP servers are fully migrated. I have a server created the VPSs, separate IP addresses, and all the other good stuff. Everything's getting there. We continue our experiments.
Yeah, some of these things in the past I've built servers and done stuff, and now to be honest, it's just easier to pay someone, pay for a service.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, so much work involved in setting up an SMTP server, and the IP addresses, and I don't know, just really hard.
You're always relying on somebody, you know?
Yeah. It's got to be done. I'm off to Spain tomorrow.
Off to Spain?
Yep.
Out to that beautiful island.
Off to Fuerteventura. So I'm flying out tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Oh, God, it's beautiful.
I've got a one-way ticket. So I'm going to go there for a couple of weeks.
One-way ticket, okay.
It sounds a bit weird when you say I've got one-way ticket, but I was going to go there and see how I get on, take the laptop, do some work, get out in the sunshine, carry on training. So I've been running quite a lot. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that tomorrow. And then, a couple of weeks. Maybe.
There's something with your sound. Your sound went a bit quieter for some reason. I don't know.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ryan has got. We can say that Ryan has upgraded his camera. He's upgraded his mic. You are definitely taking your mic and camera to Africa. Let us say it is Africa. It is not Spain.
Canary Islands. It's Canary Islands.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It's Africa. Yeah, I'll take him with me. I want to start doing some more video because on Domain Manage, one of the things I want to do is when someone makes an offer, a lowball offer, I want to spin in a video that's plays around a little bit. So if it's a super lowball offer, it'll be like, I understand you're a student and everything else. So yeah, I want to create a load of videos that spin in when an offer's made that's a bit low or kind of in the right ballpark. To try and explain the value of a domain. So, okay, cool. We understand you've made this thingy, but this is what you need to consider. So yeah, I need to get a few videos down and just get comfortable. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do more video.
Oh, that is nice, Ryan. That is nice. Okay, Ryan, awesome. We are still gonna get the domain names for the Tuesday newsletters.
Yep. I mean, if anyone wants to submit some domains for the curated list,
yes,
then I'm happy to review them and put them in if they're suitable. I'm going to look at the data that we talked about earlier. So if you've got something that stands out and it's reasonably priced, then I'm more than happy to curate it and put it into the Tuesday list.
Awesome. And those who are watching, and if you don't know it, DNForum and Icon Domains are the second and third largest domain name in forum in the world. NamePros are the largest ones. DNForum is the oldest one in the world. We have cleaned it up, and I think we have the largest email newsletter, weekly email newsletter in the industry.
Yeah.
You can get in there either through Ryan, or you need to be a premium member at both at either of the forums. And that is the thing. And if you want to see what corporates are offering other fellow domain name investors, all you need to do is just create a DNForum account or a domains account and make sure you are subscribed for receiving news. That is it. Just and keep and get that weekly or bi-weekly newsletter. The main one goes out on Tuesdays, and if there is something else urgently comes up, then I'll push another update.
It's really good because it's curated. So the domain's curated, the posts are curated. So anything that's happened in the last week will feature on the newsletter. It's a really good way of getting your message out. And stuff like offers will come in. So maybe there's discount renewals, or maybe some providers offer a discount that'll come in at some point. So really valuable.
So what else, buddy, is coming up? There is always something with you cooking. Always. Oh, wait. Are you gonna be on the July?
Yeah.
You are coming to the July, yes, 16th.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
And I'm going to go to Portugal, Faro, I think, on the 19th of July. So yeah, I'll be in London for the 16th.
Okay, so you're coming for the 16th, and then you can stay a little bit, and then you can go to Portugal.
Yeah. And then we've got the summit.
Yes, definitely summit. And more news will be published about the summit. Yes?
Yep. 8 weeks or something, is it? 9 weeks?
Yes, 70 days with something. Yes.
It's good. I'm looking forward to it. I think there'll be a lot of people.
We have a fourth day. Yes, on the August 22nd we have a late breakfast sponsor, Titan Research. Titan Research has sponsored already. Yes, they have transferred in money, and all the money has been transferred out to Hilton. I'm horrible with sales. Sometimes I take just what is asked for. That's okay. It's all good.
Oh, that's good of them to do. So that's the breakfast on the first day, is it?
Yeah, that is breakfast on Thursday, yes, and that is late breakfast. So on Monday we are having a 40 people group, a selected group, and a visiting team in its office. Then in the evening, IT.com's party in the Hilton. Should be enough. It is for 100 people, 110 people.
Okay.
On the first day, usually there are not that many people. Most people come in on the second day. And we will also have, as there is alcohol, we are having few people who are coming from Muslim countries, like Muslim faith. Okay, and it is absolutely fine. And I already had a chat with somebody, and they said, and I was already talking to them. We were talking about the plans and everything. And I said, look, on the first day, I will make sure that you will get on the bus. I know whom to put there, whom not. And then in the evening there is party, but there will be alcohol, so you will definitely want to miss it, don't you? Yes, of course we do. And it is absolutely fine. So yeah, different people, different approaches. I actually prefer less alcohol, the better. When people consume alcohol, those deals made are, you can put them in the bin. In the next morning, a person says, oh, okay, let me run away from the hotel and hopefully nobody sees me and something. That's rubbish. Although I have to say, who knows Ryan? Ryan, may I?
Yeah.
If Ryan is calling you up and saying, hey, buddy, I am flying over. Let us meet for a drink. He is coming to get you after your asset. And he will... he is very good, and he will try to get it for the best possible price. So if he's coming for a drink, it means he's coming for business. But that's good. That's good. And my experience with Ryan, those who do not know, And maybe somewhere in the future, 2088, Ryan is still around and running. And please know one thing. If Ryan starts offering great deal without checking your data on day one, and you are close to your asking for a price, take it on day one.
Yeah.
Take it on day one, as day two might never come. Or the price will be so different. Can you share a little bit about that? Or not? That is a good business lesson.
Well,
Some people, yeah.
I mean, we touched on it last time, didn't we? And I think Chris Seiger says it.
Yes.
Which is, you never know when you've had the best offer. So two things here. One is that you have to turn down an offer of 1 million to get to 5 million. You have to turn down 5 million to get to 20 million. And the reverse is true as well, is that you don't know when you've had the best offer on your domain name, and you may have already turned down the best offer on your domain name. It doesn't necessarily always go upwards. So when there's a deal to be had, then both people have got to win from it. And yeah. Otherwise, you could walk away from a deal that is life-changing, and you don't realize until 5 years later.
And we know that domain names, as some people have been making crazy high offers for domain names, and the domainer later on, like 3, 4, 5 years later, sells for 1/10 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a domain we tried to buy for $300,000. Made an offer, and it was an average domain, but the client really wanted it, and then they turned it down, and then they came back and deals off the table, don't want the domain, moved on. And that was for the quality of the domain. It was insane. They should have taken it.
Yes. And you just moved on.
Yeah, well, you can't. Or with most deals I work on, cool, I'm engaged, let's do the deal. The moment I move on, I'm done with it. I'm on to other things. I'll go and find a better domain that's adds more value to me. I don't, I would never go back. I wouldn't hang around. You want it, great. You don't want it, great. Don't come back to me. Forget going in with a lower price. Just don't come back to me. I'm not buying it anymore. You get an opportunity, and people have done it to me. Trying to buy digitalcandy.com, ID.com, all these things. There's a deal to be had. It's crazy. Bye-bye. Done. Move on. The value is quite an interesting one, because we're in discussions with quite a big domain, and the key here is the value add is the technology that we're building, the marketing that we're doing. The domain is kind of, we want a nice domain, but it's not the be all and end all, because ultimately you create an amazing product and people come and buy it or use it.
Absolutely. And we can also add, you need to build up your network as well. Absolutely.
Really
network. Not only clients, but colleagues from your industry, to get the more details on and the information. Expand your network and be careful about the pricing. Really, really cool how you price down that portfolio. Really cool.
It was an insight. I would have liked to prepare more, but it gives you an idea of what you should be looking for, even at the basic level. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a great evening, and then see you probably next week. I've got a few things in my mind. If there are guests, there are. If not, then there will be.
Yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night. Ryan, I will call you on the WhatsApp after we are done. Yes?
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
Brilliant. Good night. Good night.